Hi, I'm Mike from Michael's Motor Cars, located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and today I have a really cool car that I'm really eager to show you. Please take the time and also watch our showroom video that we'll do of this particular car, where I'll go into more of the details of the car and do an outside walk around. We'll also do a cold start video so you can see the engine starting up cold, and the purpose of today is to do a driving video so you can see, I can sort of convey to you the driving experience of this car. What it is, it's a 1950 MG YA sedan. So these are cars that really, the styling and design comes from the 30s, but they carried them through post-war and sold them for a couple of years. They are relatively rare. You don't see them very often. And they're just, I think, just really cool cars. So let me start in here in the interior, because there's a lot of fun stuff to show you in this car. This car was restored, nicely done restoration. The fellow that I bought it from a family. The guy had died. He bought it in 2020 from Great Lakes Classic Cars, and the car was basically in this exact same condition. So to begin with, you have the wonderful, it's like a 7/10 size Bentley. Nice woodwork all around the window surrounds. The dash wood was all redone, beautifully done. The finish is very nice. I'll show you, I'm very proud of this. The wipers work. I bring it up, there they go. So they're working. And then you can turn them off and they park. And then you can open up the air conditioning for the car. That's working correctly. And then we even have up here a wonderful sliding sunroof. So you got a lot of fun stuff to play with when you're in this car. So let's start it up. This car does retain its original engine. It has the plate on the motor, and that corresponds to the plate that's on the firewall for the car. It's an X-Pag motor, so this is the earlier version of the MG 4-cylinder that carried all the way through the 1980s MGBs. I have a early 1939 MG TB, which is basically the same motor, and I love it. And this car drives like that, but is more sophisticated. It's a much more solid chassis and with the body that this car has. So let's go for a ride. On the instrumentation, we do have trafficators, which we'll show you outside the car, left and right. They do open up on the outside of the car. They're working. The speedometer and odometer work. It's showing 82,000 miles. It's probably correct. Clock does not work. Going along here, I showed you the wipers, I showed you the windshield. We have a horn. We have an amperage gauge that is working. It is charging. Fuel gauge is working. The oil gauge is not working. It's not hooked up, but the owner installed an auxiliary oil pressure gauge under the dash. And actually we have great oil pressure. We're showing about 50 pounds right now, and the car is warm. It is cool outside. It's probably in the 40s right now. We also have a lovely glove box, nicely finished. So it's just, this is such a cool car, so much fun. We did service the car. The brakes are nice and solid. The suspension is tight. I'm surprised, this is a relative term, but I'm surprised how powerful the motor is. It pulls nicely. It's a happy little motor. It's stronger than I thought it might be. Transmission shifts well, but it's peppy. Close this a little bit. A little quieter for you. I was thinking about this car, and the best term for this car is just a lovely car. The lines on it are so pretty. People love seeing it. And yet it's actually quite fun to drive. The transmission shifts well. It's best to double clutch with these transmissions. I just downshifted without, but to go into second, it's happier if you double clutch. It is non-synchro mesh first, so you do want to be stopped before you go into first. if you're looking for just a fun little cute, relatively rare in the States, you don't see them, as I mentioned earlier, 4-door sedan. And we'll show you there is a boot, there is a trunk with the obligatory picnic basket back there. These cars are fun to take to British car shows because you just don't see them very often. And they're very affordable. It's an affordable classic. The parts are all relatively available. Moss Motors has a lot of them in stock. And the car, as we're driving it, it's charging nicely, great oil pressure. The temperature gauge is the thermometer at the front of the hood on the radiator, and it does work. It's showing we have a little bit of temperature. So that's nice. As you're driving along, you can see that. So it does downshift nicely. So again, if you're looking for just something that's a little quirky but really neat, the MG crowd loves these cars because they don't see them very often. And this is going to be a really fun auction. I hope somebody who really loves British cars picks this one up. It's really cute, and it's a lovely car. Thanks for coming along.